Yes. Family, welcome. Just being honest, connecting with the Black experience. It's the most disliked popular guy and always on your mind, Barry Axius, and the goddess of them all, my sis,
Peace,
the
brother.
one and only, back in her office. She said,
Yeah.
I'm done quarantining.
Well,
Back on
I'm
you,
still
Negroes.
quarantining, you know what I mean?
Queen Mama Rowe.
Hey, how you doing today, Barry? How's your week been?
Why you look all bright and effervescent and I'm
Because
looking
I'm
like I
working
just
with
woke
young
up?
people.
Oh, shoot.
You know I gotta represent.
Always. I see you. I see you building. I see you working. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, that's all I
Good.
can do, player. That's all I can do.
Well, like I told you earlier, it's better for you to be working for yourself than working for somebody else.
That's real
So,
talk.
all praises to that.
Right on.
Black people, how y'all doing? Let's get y'all in. I know some people that hit me up complaining about our 8:30 start time. They got them all confused. You know what I mean? Blame it on her, like I tell folks all the time when they call me. I say, blame it on
I
that
say
lady.
blame it on alcohol. Shit.
yeah. I guess a lot of niggas gonna have to sit there and blame it on that. But you know, how's everything been going with that? As we wait for more folks to kind of dial in, check in. How's everything going with the program so far?
Awesome. Like for this one, this is my final week, 17 girls. And then I have next week, all of these young ladies will be placed all over the city working with other Black women in their businesses and for another 3 weeks. So that's pretty awesome. So they've gotten probably more information than they ever gonna get in their whole lifetime in these last 3 weeks. I mean, like it's been incredible. And then to watch them just change and just, elevate themselves, it's just been incredible. So I'm just grateful that I can even be a part of that. I
What
step
are the,
aside and let people do what they got to do. That's what I do.
what's their take on this next upcoming? Hold on, real quick. What's their take on the social distance learning that's
It's
going to
a
happen
struggle for
again?
them because they don't do well with it. Black folks, Barry, we have to see each other. It just ain't the same. And when you need help, how can you really ask somebody for help? Or when you don't understand something, what I've learned from this ultimately is that I think our kids know social media, but they don't know technology.
Mm.
They know social media, but they don't know technology. And I don't know how we're doing distant learning in schools when our kids don't even know how to save stuff, lift it back up, like very basic stuff. And so I think that speaks to the need for us to have a different model. I also know that I started off doing 1 day in office and then 3 online. That didn't turn out so good. So I had
What
to
you mean?
reverse it.
What you mean?
Like we meet every day, for 3 hours. I mean, at least except for Friday. So when I did the let's meet in the office once and then did 3 days online, it was hard for them to comprehend, to follow. So I switched it to 1 day online because I have somebody teaching them from New York as well. And then 3 days in the office. Well, that worked well.
Mm.
So I just feel like, they come to the door, they get the temperature checked, the face masks, hand sanitizer, everything. But I think we need to see each other as a people. And I think we cannot negate that. We can't act like we have to see our babies. We have to look them in the eye. We got to talk to them. We got to be able to answer questions and answers. We have to be able to show them, role model to them. They did PSAs, which are awesome. The PSAs they did yesterday. They're just going to finish them up today. We got some guest speakers. But there's something about that interaction that we cannot deny.
Mm.
So I just find that to be pretty interesting. And I think we need to really look at that. I don't think this is, I just think that the social distancing or distance learning is not working very well for our community.
Mm. Really?
Yep.
And what time are you having the kids?
They're usually here from 10 to 1. And this is like their last week. And then being in the office and they just got awesome instructors. And then next week they're being placed in different businesses with black women that I talked to and worked out a bunch of kinks, and so they're excited. I mean, they get ready to learn some stuff like how They're getting ready to learn some more stuff that they're learning now. I think it's like I'm from the tradition where they always say, "What's in your purse?" Like, what
Mhm.
if you was going on a journey? What would be in your nation sack? In terms of what it is that you need, knowing about yourself, how to interact, how to carry yourself, what's your history, who are you? Like they getting all of that and
That's
some,
a lot.
you know. So everything from finance, because I don't think it's this thing of like, can our young people get a job? I don't think it's about that. I think anybody can get a damn job. Hell, they boarded to America for a job. But do we have what it do we are we okay with ourselves when we know why we have a job? Like,
Mm,
what's the purpose? It just can't be to buy tennis shoes so you can feel good about yourself. Why don't you deal with what's not making you feel well, so you can
that-
save your money and do some other stuff with it? And I think that's the hardest thing. So, I have all black girls. I pulled that off. It's like, no, I can't be working with other groups because other groups got stuff that we ain't got. So how can I be working with other groups when the other groups, their family stuff is intact?
mm.
They are very proud of themselves. We're the ones who are struggling on another level with
So,
self-imagery and self-mastery. We're struggling with that.
so you think that in a sense of what you're doing right now, this is like a positive because you know that our kids struggle because you've been dealing with our youth for a while. You know our kids are struggling right now and need that energy that you're bringing to the table across the board currently.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And when you see that, what are you saying then? Because I'm hearing a lot of things that you're talking about, but what are you actually saying to this idea of social distance learning? Because this is going to be our normal for a little bit. So,
Yeah.
like, what are you saying? Like,
I feel like our young people have to really be motivated to even be able to use that. So this is what I tell the kids. When I was growing up, there was a cartoon called The Jetsons.
man,
I used to watch The
talk to me about
Jetsons
it.
all the time.
Me too.
And I couldn't even fathom us living like the Jetsons. But now we're here. So you have to do everything online. You have to go to school online. You have to shop online. Man, you do all that. You have to do all of this stuff online back in the day. I didn't even know what that was, when I was a kid. But the other thing is you have to be motivated. You have to be self-guided. You have to say, when you work for yourself, and you know this, Barry, you can't lay down and be like, I'm going to use my sick time. Ain't no goddamn
girl,
sick time.
girl.
So, I think if so our kids need to understand how to use this technology so that they can not just compete, but they can just take care of themselves. So you have
Say,
to give us, but also we have like other groups don't have. We have a lot of mental things happening to us. We're living in situations that aren't healthy. I mean, I even had a person ask about their child's check, and
say
I
what?
was like, the check is going to be written to the child. Like, no. So they have to deal with even stuff at home that other kids aren't facing, like babysitting.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing.
And
Say, yo, no. But here's the thing. Why are and I think that when we talk about it, like black people, let's make it make sense, right?
right.
I get tired because I think the manipulation of the system against us has been a dual process, right? We do it to ourselves and they're on a constant doing it to us, right?
Right.
And I say that by saying this. Who signed that petition that said all black people are in this category of minority, in this category of colored people, in this category of multiculturalism, or whatever kind of fine-tuned thing that they want to kind of group us in? So we as a collective, right, kind of really get wiped out in the play. Because when you say minority, right, that minority becomes white women involved in your involved in your numbers. And that's not saying that those folks involved in the numbers don't deserve certain things that we're fighting for, equality, equity, whatever. But I think the problem that we've often found is that our needs as black people are different than everyone else's needs. We are a unique group.
That's right.
And a unique group that has a complex history. So when we look at these things and we're just like social distance learning, well, if our kids have the lowest graduation rate,
You better
If
tell
our
them.
kids have the highest expulsion rate, right?
You know,
If our kids are lacking in so many different things in the education system already, how the hell is social distance learning really going to adequately get us back to where we need to be, or
right on.
even get us to a place where now we are looked upon, right, as gaining traction because we're so far in the back. And
Right
I
on.
hate that process, right? And I think that what you're saying is so correct. And one of those things that you said that's so powerful is our kids know social media.
Yeah.
They're tech savvy in social
Yes,
media,
they
but
are.
they're not tech savvy overall with everything else. Like they
No,
don't know the
they're not.
procedures and the measures of other things. And I think that to me not only blows me away, but it frustrates me that whoever signed into that idea of us being in these groups, we get subdued in these groups. And oh yeah, I forgot, putting us in the youth, right? Because when we say youth, it's like the conversation is about black youth. So then they create a youth fund. Well, that's not a black youth fund. That's not a black youth anything. That's just youth. And I know we don't want to be prejudice on other folks in there.
We could never be prejudiced. Black folks we could be prejudiced, but we can't be racist. Because
Yeah, but
I cannot like your shoes. I can't stop.
we know that fact. But I think that for me, I gotta honor our trials and tribulations before I honor anybody else's trials and tribulations. So
that's what other groups are doing, Barry.
Yeah, because the social distance learning thing is going to be different in our community. It's going to be different in our culture. It is. So how are we going to act as if we can go about it the same way we go about everything else? It doesn't even make any sense. So we just going to all of a sudden say the kids that have the higher need, documented, even if you don't want to believe it, it's just the facts. We're just going to go tell them to go learn like everybody else when they've already had an issue learning like everybody else. And that's not saying by a way of not functioning their mental, but in a way of how we learn, how we work as a culture, as a community has always been different. And that's why we don't get along with the system of today. We're not these individuals that can all simulate. We just not. That's just. I think that what you're doing, is tremendous. Yeah, I mean, but I also feel like what you're also doing, as well as myself and Dana. I don't think folks really realize. I think that we've gotten so caught up into this idea that we can't have a small group of young people and bring them together, social distance them, and put them on masks. I'm going to tell you right now, our groups right now are saving some black kids' minds, their self-esteem, because our kids are not able just to be in confines. It's almost like we're in prison. Maybe some people like that, but our children can't deal with that.
Right on, Barry. Right on. You're absolutely correct. Right on. I just feel like, so I'm a sci-fi nut. So I grew up watching Mad Max and watching Mad Max. I used to see, and they would show you people who were destitute living under the city. It's like, oh God, this is futuristic, or maybe this is, I don't know. But now that I look at it, I can see that right now. I can totally see that. There's going to be those of us who are going to get left so far behind. We are going to be living in the sewer. And so how do you help us to make that educational leap, as we like to talk about a lot? How do you get us to make that leap? You know what I mean? Is it possible for us to make that leap? You know what I mean? And I don't think folks really, really understand that. You know what I mean? We know that our kids they're coming out of a system where people didn't give a shit about them anyway when they went to school for 8 hours of the day. So how are they going to do that on their own? I used to always trip when they put our kids on independent study. And it's like, how do you put them on independent study when they're not in school doing their work. So how are they going to be held accountable? Who's going to show them the way? It's so many folds to this. So there's the fold of the system. Okay, I don't even want to fuck with the system because I don't come from people who even address the system. That's why I think that don't mean shit to me, Barry. I'm not gonna front. I'm not saying it don't mean nothing to nobody else, but in my world,
white supremacy, white supremacy.
Oh, you know what, Barry? You just fucking with me now. But seriously, I come from a people who was like, let's get it in. This system has always been here. We didn't survive 400 years of these goddamn people. You got to do the part you can do. And I think a lot of us have lost our ability to do that. We lost our ability to have accountability with yourself. I mean, if all you got to give your kids is beans and rice, they eating. You know what I mean? If you complain about not having no food, but you got on some $200 pair of tennis shoes, I don't know if I can really fuck with you. Because why do you have some shoes on that cost $200 that probably costs 50 cents to make them in China?
Facts.
So I just, Barry, for me, I have to always be in this kind of prayer because I love black people. It don't mean I don't love us, because Lord knows I do, but I love us so much that I'm not putting up with the bullshit. Like, I don't believe in cancel culture. I wish you could cancel being black. Come on. It don't work like that. But what you not going to make me do is put up with your bullshit.
Talk to him.
That's what I'm not going to do. If I ain't rocking with you, I'm not rocking with you. I don't give a fuck. Ain't no such thing as being canceled. That's why we have so much abuse in our community, and we don't want to talk about it because, we don't want to cancel you. If you killing me, why wouldn't I cancel you?
Facts.
Well, this shit is crazy.
No, well, I mean, we got to make it make sense. That's the whole thing. Like, make it make sense, black people.
Like, where are all these activists at, Barry? Where the actors? I mean, the activists. Where are they at?
You said it right. Where the actors?
Where they at, Barry? Where they at?
Some motherfuckers are still out there being fraudulent. You know what I'm saying? My beautiful sister, shouts out to Tanya Scam Fakes On. You know what I'm saying? She out there.
She's still out there?
She's still out there faking and making, taking and breaking. You know what I'm saying? Faking the funk. But that's what that's what we're into, right? We're into fraudulent shit. We're into fakeism. You know what I'm saying? We love that. Fraudish ways. We love that type shit. You know what I mean? Because we don't ever, like you say, get to the point of counseling. But before we go into that, because we jump into that, here's the devil's advocate on the whole distance learning. Okay. Well, what about you Negroes that said y'all wanted your own schools? And what about you Negroes that said that, you guys aren't learning in these simulated schools? So isn't this the best thing for y'all? I mean, remember, you're not learning your history. You're not learning about who you really are. It's a school to prison pipeline, right? I mean, this is the kind of situations that we're in. It's a public fool system. So you should be excited that you're not entering the public fool system. What's your take on that? Because
I think people
have been asking this for a long time, and now they got what they've asked for. So why are people upset?
So here's what I do know, Barry. I know some people who, a lot of my close personal friends, they homeschooled their kids. So their kids wasn't in the public school system. People who talk that shit are the same people who spend $200 on some Boys to Men tickets, but not $200 on their kids getting the book to learn to read or ebonics or whatever the hell. So I think those are always just the talkers. People talk that shit. We talk all day about the white man, but we want to be his ass. We talk all day about oppressing people. We oppress other people. I mean, it's just kind of like you want a chance to hold the whip. So y'all don't really want to have accountability. You could have been raised your own goddamn kids.
Hold on, the nigga want to be the master to hold the whip?
Hey.
What? Nah, not us. Not us good old black folk.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. That's I think that's the problem with a lot of us, right? As individuals, we are not truly. Some people are ready. My queen beloved said some people are ready, but I don't think that we're often ready enough. We have a lot of talkers, Queen said we have those talkers don't have the information because I'm on my live joint. But the reality is this. I think that Negroes are in such survival mode that we don't even get across the idea that we actually can do all of this shit all by ourselves, right? I feel like This is the greatest time right now for niggas to have African-centered curriculum that we can be able to penetrate the system and never go back. Like, ain't this the time to where we start focusing on African-centered schools where we can be like, hey, yo, check this out. Let's make our own curriculum. Let's have our own base. And I know there's a few schools out there. Shout out to Fortune School out here in Sacramento. I never want to forget them, and some other folks that are doing, some independent study, African-based, Sankofa style. But this is the time for me in a reset to reset it all and don't go back. Because here's the biggest thing out of everything. They're now saying we don't even need your children to go back and play sports. And that to me is the jewel, because a lot of these kids that have no motivations, my only motivation was the extracurricular activity that they have. Now they're basically saying, well, we can't afford that because of COVID-19, whatever the hell this is. So nothing is holding us back from exiting stage left. And I believe that we should, and right now, and sister said, because I got my people hitting me up, reform. And I understand about reform, but I'm going to go with what she's also saying. We need to reinvent the wheel, to be honest with you, because the wheel that we need to reinvent is a wheel that comes from strictly our mental and balancing it out with all of the other particulars that our children need. Because again, we are a very particular kind of people. We learn differently. I can't learn with some white old man or white mid-age 30-year-old teaching me about ish that doesn't gravitate to me, and their speaking style is just bland as a food that they cook without no salt and seasoning. I just can't. Like, I watch people when they go and they work with my kids, like our program. I watch people, work with our kids. Our kids be damn near dead, ready to go to sleep. I go in there, I'm energetic, I'm in their face, I'm getting them to be involved in the curriculum and the conversation. I'm now challenging them to get out of their turtle shape or their turtle shell. I'm challenging that, because I'm not going to be sitting there without no life and just kind of teaching you methodically like A plus B in the radius of Z goes here. Like, come on, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to put some pizzazz in it. And I think naturally that's what we're missing on a lot of, schools. And some folks will say, well, then we need more black teachers. But I don't think black teachers want to go teach in a place where it's so assimilated that they can't even be themselves while they're teaching. So in this reset, I don't understand why we don't identify with one of the biggest things, one of the hugest things. If this wouldn't be the savior of the next generation to come, more African-centered schools across the board. Period. Like, that's kind of the eliteness that we have to go with, the same kind of high scale sporting activities, because I feel the kids need that balance. But we have to do that now. If we're not going to do it now, then when are we going to have the time to do it? And if we choose to not challenge ourselves to do that, sis, when we get back and everything is back to being regular like it is, right? How can we challenge a system that basically said, hey, y'all, we failed y'all. We dropped the ball, but y'all niggas still came back. Make it make sense, black people. I'm just saying.
I agree with you, babe. I just got to be honest with you. I'm really sick of black people wanting to be entertained all the fucking time.
Talk to them.
Seriously. I'm really sick of that shit, because it's annoying. We are like the only people who want to be entertained all the time and then say nobody takes it seriously. Our kids have to learn some goddamn discipline. The adults got to learn some discipline. Everything in life is not going to be fun while you're doing it.
Wow.
There's a lot of things I have to do that is not fun, but I still get the shit done. That entertainment shit is why we're always behind the fucking 8 ball, because we always want to fucking feel good. I have nothing against people who smoke weed, but goddamn it, ain't enough weed in the world that's gonna make you feel the way you want to feel until you address your shit.
Talk to them.
And it's that simple. And I think our kids, when I look at young people who are struggling, I know it has everything to do with the adults. It has everything to do with, when you want to make your kid feel good all the time, and then they have to go in the world and compete against a group of people who kids know what hard work looks like and know when to buckle down. Like, this is not the time we're going to have fun. Our kids think it's always the time. Not all of our kids, but they always think this is the time where it's got to be lit. Everything cannot be fucking lit. Okay? Everything can't be lit. My thing, I'm old school. Do your work now, play later.
Talk to them.
That's how I was raised. You get the work in now, and then we'll play later. But some people think you got to entertain the kids every day, and then we be mad when our kids don't get certain shit. Just take your ass to class, or just do your work, do your 4 hours, get that done, and then go about your business. Because I was telling my kids, when they were giving y'all the grades that they were going to give you all before class, before this quarantine hit, a lot of my kids checked out. You know what I said? You cheating your damn self. Because you the one that don't know how to compete. You the one that's going to have to compete with kids from China. You ain't just competing with the kids around the corner and in the next state over. You're competing with people in India and China.
Talk to them.
So you needing to always feel like, oh my God, this is boring. Life is goddamn boring.
Talk to them.
Get the work in.
Come on, let's go.
I'm parents are like, well, my child won't get up. What?
Negro who?
If they cut these checks off, we're gonna watch her ass get up and walk up and down the street with a sign and say, can y'all spare some change? That shit takes work.
You know what, sis? What's crazy to me? The unmotivated child believes that they deserve and they earn a paycheck. I came in my class, last week, and I told them, I said, y'all little niggas think that you're gonna get a stipend for just showing up? Like, y'all think y'all gonna get a stipend for just coming and just sitting there and not participating? I said, you will earn the way you show up, right? The way you show up is the way you're gonna earn, right? So if you decide to show up with excitement and energy, you're probably looking for like that bonus. You're probably trying to get there. If you just showing up just to give me a seat, first of all, I can replace you. Secondly, you're going to get exactly what you're deserving. And I think that what we have to do as Black people, and again, here's this big word, too. Y'all don't get mad at me.
Go ahead.
Accountability and responsibility. If we don't get those words back into our conversation, we will continue to be defeated. Because if we don't have accountability for ourselves, if we don't be responsible for ourselves, if we don't truly identify with what is and what's not, dealing with the problems that we face right now, because the problems that we face right now have always been the problems. It's just now magnified, and we all can see them right in our face. Every issue that we have talked about, you and I, for the last 2.5 years of us being on the show, and niggas will probably think that we were crazy, over radical, okay, all right, everything. And this is just being on the show with you. I'm talking about decades of talking about the same shit. Centuries of talking about the same shit. Do you people understand what we're talking about? The same problems that Garvey talked about. The same problems that Harriet talked about. Like, these are the same. And Frederick Douglass was. We are talking about the same shit, y'all. In 2020. So you telling me us going around the circle, continuing to insult our intelligence by going into these schools that are not designed for us.
Never have.
That we're still in a place where they finally have now shown us, without question. Sis, I'm gonna get to that question in a second. Let's remember what Stockdale just put over there. Sis just asked a great question. Bring it back as soon as I'm done with this, Queen, please.
Okay.
The question to me is, how do we formulate a plan and a design that don't look the same from what we were supposed to leave. Because if they did not show you their operations, you had to force them to give laptops to children. You had to force them to go ahead and give internet for all households in certain households that didn't have it. These are things that had to be forced, not things that they just didn't do and just said because we know what it is. It's like we had to fight to get these things. So if they've shown you that they're going to throw your kid in a pit of fire and your child is going to have to figure it out, imagine a person that has 4 children with 1 laptop. How that going to work? How that going to work? And let's make this also clear. With 1 parent in the household. How that gonna work? This is why if any entrepreneur is listening to me right now that's in the education system, right now, if any Black entrepreneur is hearing me right now who is in the education system, create a mobile tutoring network. Create that. This is the best time. Matter of fact, if you ain't gonna create it, I think I might need some tutors on board. So I'm gonna create the shit and do it myself. Because that's what's gonna be needed. That we're gonna need folks to not only get online, but we're gonna need folks to do some house calls. Because our children are in a big need. That teacher ain't gonna show up, but we gotta show up. So this is an opportunity again for us to escape. To escape. Like, we don't even need Harriet to give us the Underground Railroad. We got it right in front of us. It's time to get out. Like the movie said, get out.
Right on.
These are things that I don't understand. Why do we keep on going back to the prison hall? Like, this is what I'm saying. Matter of fact, it's so crazy. I talked to my sister, Stockdale. I said, well, sis, because, you know, they done screwed her over. Like you know, great Black sis, they didn't screw my sis over. I said, sis, we need, and Butler, I see you want to educator talk. Hey, Butler, we got to talk about that though, sis. We talked about Juanita, we got to talk about that, what I just said. What we need right now is to formulate a mobile tutoring program. Right now. Stockdale, this is what we have to talk. Butler, this is when we have to talk. Let's talk about that right now. And then what we do is we go ahead, we shape it, we put it out, and we say to these school fucking, because here's the thing, the school is going to have now more money. Because they have not been defunded because of the kids not being in school. They're continuing to get the funds because the kids are registered, being on, and that's why they're making sure these kids get laptops now, because they're like, okay, well, we got these kids on our school list, so we still need that money. They're still getting the money. So they're going to have extra monies because they're not spending certain monies on certain things. You ain't got to spend on yard duties. You ain't got to spend on custodians. You know what I'm saying? There's money that what you cleaning, right? Facilities ain't being used. So now we know they're going to have extra monies. And in reality, with COVID-19, you can create. We talk about solutions on this show, not just complaining. We can create, right, a fund that says we want to create a mobilized tutoring network for our young kids that we know will be struggling. And I'm telling you, that's not ingenious. That's just thinking ahead of the curve, because this is something that we should have been doing. I'm just saying. And then on top of that, guess what? Parents should be getting paid as well if they're going to be the part-time, full-time teachers. They should get a check as well. Like, that should be mandatory. No disrespect on the teachers. Teachers still get your issue, but parents need a little bit of a cut. There should be some kind of stipend incentive for the parents. There should be. There needs to be. Because now their world is upside down. But going back to the question when my sister said, a question, do we as a community really believe problems and solutions start at home? You know what? Once upon a time I could say that, but I don't even know what niggas is doing at home nowadays. I don't even, are niggas even cooking breakfast for their kids nowadays? Are the kids running shit? I don't know. Personally, I don't know. I'm confused about it, because when we address these kind of issues, like when we're saying Black people, please make it make sense. And we're appreciative of folks that are tuning in. People don't want to talk about this type shit. You niggas want to hear us talk about Cardi B, Megan, the Stallion, some old dumb shit, Kanye West. That's what niggas like to talk about, the entertainment value of it. Well, did you see LeBron James play last night with AD? Like, that shit is the shit that has kept us distracted, that has kept us unfocused, that has kept us continuing the damnation that we're in currently, because we don't want to address the problems in our community. And like I said, I challenged, one of my heads, and I said, well, if you want to go make a splash, we need to do a grant specifically for Black businesses, whether it's a small donation of in kind, but there ain't that many small Black businesses in Sacramento, right? That have a brick and mortar. So it's easy to do something like that. And he said, you know what? I'm taking you up on your challenge, because these are the kind of things that Black people need to do. Hello, Black people. Let's make it make sense. They not coming back for us. They're not. They're not here to help us. They're not here to inform us. So to answer your question, sis, I don't really know if all the solutions start at home, because home is burning. Most of the Black homes are not as functional as they used to be. I'm not saying all, but I know a lot more dysfunctional Black homes than I know functional. And some folks will probably argue with me on that, because they're probably like, I know a bunch, but I know a lot of dysfunctional homes. And if you want to look at the home, we can stretch it. Is it the home environment inside? Is it the home surrounding, which would be the neighborhood, the schools, the people that are impacted? So what do we consider home? I think the definition of home has now expanded and accelerated to where it doesn't look the same way it looked like us when we were coming up, for some of the older heads, not too old, but some of the heads that, have kind of had a different way of learning. Because the reason why I have a great relationship with my kids is, like, it started from the home. So I understand that component. But I also look at it now, some of the most detrimental reasons why kids are having difficulties is started from what? The homes. You know what I'm saying? Like, our kids are receiving bad patterns from home, right? We're not having the modeling at home is just as bad as on the streets. It's almost as bad as television. And I say that by saying this. When I was coming up, I didn't have my own regular phone. For those who know, in your late 30s, early 40s, y'all know about this. You know what I'm saying? Like, a Negro to have his own phone, like his own phone line, holy smokes. Like, that was like, girl, that was like a celebration upon celebration. Like, my own phone line. Oh my God. You know what I'm saying, Queen?
That's real talk.
Appropriate age. It wasn't at 12. Like, that's for the rich kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, the rich kids, yeah, I got my own phone line. You were like, you got your own what? There is no excitement anymore for a child to earn. It's just given, and that pollutes their mind. What is a child earning? When they get 13, 14, 12, they get an iPhone. They get an iPhone 11. You don't even get the standard phone. You get an iPhone 11. You don't even graduate to that. You just get. And that, to me, is the pollution. And that starts where? In the home. Because just because it's advertised don't mean we got to buy it. Make it make sense, Black people. And that becomes our problem. So what I end up doing, I decided, like, okay, I'm going to earn getting this phone. Here's the stipulations. My dad's like, well, you're going to have to pay for it. Okay, I'm finna go get a job. You know what I'm saying? You still have to be off at this certain time. But it's my own phone. But it's in my house. Damn, okay. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of like where we're at. Kids do something. A parent won't even take their phone away for a week or two. They need their phone. Need their phone for what? What you need their phone for? If you're dropping them off, picking them up, Negro, you be out here at 3:30. When I come pick your ass up, drop you off at 8, you better be there at 3:30. Don't let me come walk around and find your ass. And that was it. Anything worth having is worth earning. Thank you, Queen. Because this is a problem that we're having in our generation. What are our children earning to get what they get? You just give to give? And if we say it starts from the home, then we have to create our home to be better. This is all of the problem. We continue to try to play these mind games with ourselves and act as if we don't control the household. That's us. How are we allowing social media to dictate what we do in our household? I don't give a damn if your friend at 16 got Gucci. Nigga, you not getting a Gucci belt. How about that? And if you walk in the house with a Gucci belt, I'm going to either think you stole it or you're selling dope. So I need that. And this is what you got to do. And if we align ourselves with this thought pattern, we don't have our kid more focused on designer than focus on education. And that does become a home problem. But if you're allowing social media to advocate for your home, we have a bigger problem and a bigger issue altogether. And that's what it is. Period.
Well, I agree with you. You get no disagreement from me. I just, I think what you're talking about is a lot of accountability and responsibility. I think some families do that and some don't. I think usually people who are busy raising it, this is what I have learned. I could tell the kid that somebody put some time into. It don't mean that their parents were rich. It don't mean that their parents had butlers or whatever. It just means that their kids meant everything. I had kids who now are parents. They have like maybe some kids now that are maybe 9 or 10 years old, because I've been doing this work for since I was 19. And I'm watching their parenting style look very different than the parenting style they was raised with, because they got more information. So I'm watching them make their children, their whole world. And then there's those people who have a sense of entitlement, like them having children is somebody else's responsibility to pay for them. I come from the tradition that you can't have what you can't afford. If you have children, you have to be ready for them. Okay, sometimes things happen and, you have a child, but to have 3 and 4 and be on the system, that's a problem. Or to think in our community that we're supposed to make a way for you when you're not trying to make a way for you. The sister posted up here and said in the immigrant community, they've been educating their kids for years on Saturdays. On Saturdays, we want our kids to sleep in. On Saturdays, when I was growing up, we had chores twice a week. Saturday mornings, we could not watch no cartoons, breakfast, nothing until we get them goddamn chores done. And Wednesday afternoons. So on Wednesday, I couldn't ask nobody. Don't ask me to go no damn where, because I can't go, because I got to go home and clean my house. I'm talking about wiping baseboards and everything else. My mother was old school.
How the hell we have a bunch of kids in the house and people are asking for cleaners? We got 5 kids in the house and people are trying to have cleaners come to the house when you got 5 kids in the house.
I think we got to stop watching reality TV shows, because that shit ain't real.
Nah.
You know what I mean? We got to stop with this perception of what we think wealth looks like. We got to stop with this perception and feel like you don't have to work for yours. That's why other groups, see, this is what I've witnessed, Barry. I watch other groups come behind us and reap all the benefits of the doors we kick down. For 2, I think they watch what we do and do the opposite. They be like, okay, the Negroes did this, so this is how we gonna approach it. I think there's still a structure where, you have to basically make your kids earn their way. My mother she didn't have to do that, but she had if you do this, we'll do that. I don't know. I just feel like some of our needs are just really wants. And then what happens is that you get old and you look up in the system and everybody else have built something and you over here asking for somebody to help you out.
Real shit.
I always tell my kids, when you get 18, people don't really have to deal with you.
They don't give a damn.
Because you're not worth nothing. I can't get no money for you. You can't be a foster kid and not get paid. It's like you're worthless.
You can't. Listen.
I hate to say it like that. You're not really worthless. That's the way people see you.
Listen. I can make every excuse about what happened in my childhood. That's not going to help my daughter. You know what I'm saying? That ain't going to help, right? My daddy was on dope. Mom was on crack. Brother shot me. Whatever. But my child will still look at me, but Dad, what about me? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I don't give these little Negroes no excuses about not being fathers. I'm on these Negroes' helmet.
Yeah, I'm so tired of hearing that. We didn't have a dad. So Barry, what do you think about when that brother shot that sister in the head and they plunged into the water? And to hear some brothers say we can't blame him. This is the system, and I'm not shit. This is, I can't say the name, but this is the system, and this is a random act.
Who said that? Fuck you talking about? Excuse my language to my beautiful queen goddess sister right now. It ain't to you, but who the fuck said that?
Yeah,
that old clown ass Negro shit, silly ass Negro shit.
It's See, this is the problem. Here's the problem. I'm pretty sure the sister wasn't thinking about that system when he blew her head off and they accountability. The river. With four kids in the back. With four kids and two of those heads.
Here's the problem about accountability. Right? We don't want to be accountable for nothing in the Black community. That's why I don't sit there and I take on that phase when Negroes want to blame everything on white supremacy. This Negro right here who studies, who understands, I am not here because of myself. I'm here because of this right here, my ancestors. I never forget that.
Right now.
Their sacrifices, their devices, in reality, have given me the ability and the authority to be where I'm at. That's facts. This is not fictional. I could never ever imagine what they had to do for me to be able to have a voice to be here to say what I'm gonna say. I will never say any movement or anything I'm doing is greater than them. They laid down in death the foundation. So let's get that. So that's how I think. I don't think with this pathetic Black Lives Matter that ain't gave us no power, ain't gave us no land, only gave us a bunch of white sympathizers and fragile white people that want to do right and only want to give to fake organizations that are not even operable, that don't even work with Black community. It's like you got a Black Lives Matter organization here in Sacramento that's fighting for Black people, but only got white people with them marching. Only got white people out there. You know what I'm saying? So when we talk about these things, I look at it all straight. So now getting back to the point. When you want to sit there and continue to throw white supremacy and our inability to control our thoughts, our inability to control our emotions, our inability to show sensitivity, and we lack accountability, how the fuck am I going to ask the next person for accountability on anything they do? Because they can have the same excuses. How am I going to ask someone to be responsible for my life when I decided I want to be negligent on all things? You have a grown-ass man who had 3 kids by this woman. Yep. The other child was someone else's that had this 23-year-old beautiful Black girl driving around and decided on that day he was going to end her life because of however he was feeling about himself. How he was feeling about himself. You can't blame that on white supremacy. Negro, take accountability. Because my thing is like this. If I cannot be the head of the household, I need to get out of that household. If I can't be respected in the household, I need to get out of that household. If I don't feel like I'm a man around this woman, I don't need to be with this woman. But how dare you, Negroes, with your silly ass selves, decide to say that this was a product of something that we all go through, but it doesn't allow us to make a tragic, a stupid decision by shooting your baby mama in the head as if you were Scarface in a movie. Like she was just some old Rudy Poot ass, Molly Gone that was saying some old wild shit. I'll take you all to hell when you blast her. Like, is that where niggas is at right now?
Driving, no.
Like, is that like seriously? Is that the mindset you niggas have right now? Because that becomes a point where I say, black women, be careful the type of niggas you sleep with, boo. You better, before you give them some of that yameen, you better, I'm talking about, survey that Negro for about 6 months to a year. And I know it's difficult. Trust me.
Talk about it, Barry.
It's difficult, but trust me, if you got any kind of Negro that has some kind of mental disability, first of all, a Negro driving around in a car with 4 kids, I'm looking at you funny. If I got to be with that type of Negro, don't need to be with that type of Negro, if you know what I'm saying. So I only say that to my sisters. You got to stay away because, see, the thing about us, we react on how you move. So if y'all saying...
Say that again, Barry. That was dope. Say that again.
I said, the thing about us, we react on how y'all really move. So if you don't move into loving the thug machismo or that shooter Negro, we ain't going to be that. If we find out like that's not the gimmick that we got to do to get y'all, oh, nah, Negro, I'm off that. That was some 2019 shit. We ain't doing that no more. I don't need no nigga running around with no guns and capping and talking about the ops and all that type shit. We gonna change our flex. That's what I will say. You cannot be attracted to the thing that could kill you as well. Because what you think, if this nigga was popping random Negroes or getting into random shit, you don't think this nigga gonna turn on you like a pit bull? That's the one thing I'll say with the sisters. But going back on these silly ass Negroes, the mental illness is even deeper than that, Queen. It's the unfortunate way that us as men deal with rejection, deal with someone kind of challenging and not able to hold and stand like a man. We want to use this, or now we're using this, and not understanding the results of those actions because we're displaced. 9 times out of 10, a weak Negro that does that, he weak in every other place in every other area in his life. He really is weak. Even when he seems like he's strong, he's really probably the weakest link. And when a man is intimidated by his woman, because the cold part about it, a woman can say some slick shit, make a nigga go use it in 10. The mentality of a stronger man will laugh at that shit. Don't pay no mind. And if he has to, he'll step away and walk away. But any person, real quick, I know you got to say something. Any person, I apologize. Any person that wants to sit there and say that was a fabrication and that was aligned with the system that we're dealing with, that becomes the excuse and why we continue to be in daddy daycare, because they know that we will continue to make excuses before we decide to say, I got to man up, I got to woman up, and I got to clean up my shit. I can't allow someone to be over me like a puppet master and play me like a fucking violin. That shit's out.
So here's what I struggle with. Maybe you can help me with this. This is what I was going to ask you. I don't understand how a dude can snap like that on her, but don't do that with the police.
Oh, you already know what it is. Well, I mean,
because if it just take that, why you don't snap like that on the police when they come fucking with you? Like, I really don't understand that.
What is a bully?
Honestly, I'm not trying to be funny.
No, but I mean, you being honest. What is a bully?
Not understanding that at all.
A bully likes to bully those he can bully and find is weak. And then sometimes at the end of the day, the abuse between them was probably ongoing. This just wasn't some random act. He just didn't snap. It wasn't just an isolated situation. The unfortunate thing about abuse, when you see that real abuse, not abuse of you guys may not agree on shit, abuse where it's like, oh shit, someone finna die or someone finna get hurt. A woman has to sit there and look at that and say, I can't help this Negro. And I understand that we are in the world and the job of fixing people. I've tried to do that myself several times, but the only person that can fix you is you and some help from the person above or wherever that person is. You hear what I'm talking about? And I think that the attitude that we have, because men choose to not want to discuss these conversations with men, no other Negro is checking that behavior that he's around. And if they were, they wasn't checking it hard enough. Because there ain't nobody in my circle that I could go sit there and say, yeah, man, I had to slap this bitch last night. And a nigga ain't gonna pause and be like, you did what? You know what I'm saying? Like, you slapped her with the pistol? Yeah, man, that old punk bitch, you know, she talking crazy, man. I slapped that. Nigga gonna look at me like, first of all, this will probably be the last conversation we have because I can't be your friend. Secondly, what the hell you doing slapping your baby mama with a pistol? She ain't no damn Negro that stole money from you. These Negroes are accelerating the chaos by like, yeah, man, you know, I had to knock my bitch the same way. And this becomes a problem. You be in abusive circles. And some people love abuse. And that's the problem. Sometimes we believe abuse is love. And I'm here to tell y'all, queen sisters, goddesses, black men, abuse is not love. Mental stress is not love. That shit's not love. If you love a person, if you're doing some outside shit, because I'm not no perfect nigga at all, I ain't gonna say that. But you gonna make sure you do enough shit to where the motherfucker don't find nothing out because you gonna want to protect their feelings because you know they ain't gonna really feel that. But you don't sit there and create an abusive atmosphere and try to continue to say, this is how I show my love. And if that's how you show your love, player, I'm out. I don't even allow people to mess with my mental. Like if you do too much, I'm out of here. Like, okay, that's how you is? Because I don't even got time. This is my thing. There ain't no reason for us to really have super arguments because you're not a man. And if I feel that way, I can't do nothing to you. So we don't even need to have that kind of drama. You don't need to get at me like that. And I don't need to get at you like that. That's just facts. Because what we going to do after that? You know what I'm saying? Because a person I'm a reformed Negro, but I'm still that Negro. You know what I'm saying? I'm a reformed Negro, but I'm still that Negro. So you ain't going to just be talking to me. Nobody in this world just going to talk to me however they feel like they want to talk to me. It's not happening. So if we're not moving in a direction of you know, you say your shit, I say mine, and a direction of respect. If we don't have that kind of relationship, I don't need to be in that relationship. Period.
Right on, Barry. Well, look, we got to wrap it up because it's 9:30 and my young folks are starting to file in.
They see. Hey, remember, y'all. Remember.
But this was good, Barry. Great information. I mean, are you serious?
I feel high about this because I don't feel we got to step our game up, brothers. We got to step our game up. I'm just going to tell you like this real quick. All right. So check out Thursday. We're going to be doing, and I would love to be able to have maybe some of your girls. Like, how long you going to be there for today, sis?
Today we're going to be here till 1 o'clock.
But you guys have too much going on, huh?
We got speakers all day.
Okay, yeah. So for folks who want to know, we're doing the Taylor Blackwell virtual protest. We're gonna have, if y'all can get postcards or paper that says what happened to Taylor Blackwell, February 28, 2020. Put that in black and white. Hashtag justice for Taylor Blackwell. Hashtag we want answers. Hashtag to know Taylor is to love Taylor. Hashtag those. We're gonna push those out Thursday, we're doing our protest. We're going social media wise. We want to have that buzz on social media, do postcards, get your kids together because this is a very important. While our black girls keep dying and we don't say anything, our black queens keep dying, we're not saying nothing. We're going to be on social media as well as for you folks that are into thrifting. Today, me and my business partner, Passion Bailey, we're going virtual shopping today at 3 p.m. Check Hidden Gems Thrift Store on IG and Facebook. We're going to virtual. Please support black businesses, and you know that's what it is. I appreciate you, sis. And
all right,
network, like, share, friend it. Stop playing with us. Support Black Podcast. We out.
All right, peace, family.
Peace.